What's up, Boulder, Colorado?
Do something. Just know that I made the decision and I don't stumble or stutter on it, and I'm not looking back. It is what it is, and that's what it's going to be.
Today, we've got several great stories for you, so we're going to make like an egg and get cracking. Our main story today is about some wild comments made by one of Coach Prime's former staffers. For those who miss it, recently, former Colorado offensive coordinator Sean Lewis had some interesting words about Coach Prime. Plus, we're going to talk about Colin Cowherd, some comments that were made there, and some other great stories. So grab you some chips and queso, sit back, and get ready because this is the prime time for college football. In our first story today, we're going to talk about what former offensive coordinator Sean Lewis said about Coach Prime. Now, for those who missed it, Coach Lewis was recently moved to an off-field analyst position at Colorado. He decided to take a new role and accepted a head coach position at San Diego State University. Let's listen to this clip real quick.
And spotlight them, and then Coach Sanders does an unbelievable job of speaking belief into existence, right? That there's an unwavering belief in how he does things and the conviction that gave the whole team as we went forward. So those two lessons learned were invaluable from our time that we shared together, and I'm thankful for the opportunities that I had with him.
So first off, hats off to Coach Lewis for the kind words. This really says something about the kind of people that Coach Prime has coaching for him. You know, the whole world wanted to say something negative and trash the program. The whole world wanted Coach Lewis to be super negative, super critical, and say things about Deion Sanders that were maybe not true, maybe something that would get people stirred up or riled up or stir up some controversy. That wasn't Coach Lewis's move. Everyone in the world knew what was best when Coach Prime moved him to an off-field role. Everyone in the world knew what was best when he put Shermer in there to call plays, and everyone was critical of Coach Prime. Coach Sean Lewis took it in stride and is now a head coach somewhere else, and we're happy for him. And I hope San Diego State does a phenomenal job. If we ever play him, certainly not going to cheer for him then, but I hope he does a great job there. I have no hard feelings, and obviously, he doesn't either, the way they responded about this. And so, happy to see that this is what's going on. Happy to see that this is the way that things have transpired. And I'm happy for Coach Lewis. I want to know what you guys think. I want to know what you guys think down in the comments about Coach Lewis staying loyal to Coach Prime. In a day and age where it's very easy to turn your back and talk crap and make underhand and snide remarks and dirty comment, whatever. Very easy to do that in today's society. What are you guys' thoughts about Coach Lewis staying very loyal and very true to Coach Prime? Let me know down below. Next up, we're going to talk about who is going to be Colorado's next offensive coordinator. Now remember, during this season, Pat Shermer took over in an on-field role. And recently, Coach Prime was asked who would be taking over the offensive reins, and his response was this: I don't know about that one. So clearly, Coach Prime is considering all options at offensive coordinator. But smoke is starting to come out that a dark horse OC candidate may be emerging. And we all know that Coach Prime has already shaken things up by bringing in Warren Sapp for the next season. But Sports Illustrated has reported that former Buccaneers OC Byron Leftwich may be considering the job. Now, Leftwich did a great job for the Bucs. I've told you guys before, I live in Tampa. I'm very well familiar with what the Bucs were able to do with Leftwich here. Now, they had the GOAT, and I get it. Tom Brady makes a lot of offensive coordinators' jobs very easy, and I'm not trying to make this comparison, so don't get mad at me in the comments. But having Shedeur Sanders would not be a terrible option at quarterback for a new OC either. I'm not calling Shedeur the GOAT. I'm not saying he's Tom Brady. But a plus-level quarterback, a quarterback who is going to be one of the best in the Big 12, since we're done with the Pac-12 as of now, a quarterback like that is a quarterback that makes an OC's job a little bit easier. Leftwich obviously played in the NFL several years with the Jags, has a good bit of experience, has dealt with not only athletes of all generations playing, from rookies all the way up to Tom Brady, the oldest man to ever play, but he's also dealt with different kind of personalities, massive superstars like Brady and others that were on that Super Bowl winning team. And I think it'd be pretty interesting to have Byron Leftwich as your OC. What do you guys think? Do you think that Coach Prime should stick with Coach Shermer or maybe go with Leftwich? Let's talk about that down in the comments as well. Now, next, we're going to talk about some comments that Colin Cowherd recently made about Coach Prime in Colorado. On his show recently, Colin Cowherd said that he doesn't regret getting excited about Colorado. He says that he doesn't regret talking about Deion Sanders and the Colorado Buffaloes at the start of the football season. He said he believes it's okay to get excited about new things, even if they don't last forever. He said he believes that Sanders still has great potential as a college football coach, and he says that it's hard to build a great roster in Boulder. And we know this. It's not been done in a very, very long time. But he also said that Coach Prime will have to win to get the attention back and get recruits. And I don't disagree with him. When you're winning, everyone wants to be part of it. Now, I'm not talking to you guys. You guys have been here the whole time, and I get that, and I love that, and I appreciate that. But go back and look at what the numbers for Colorado on our channel, on the Well Off's channel, on national TV when Colorado was in the first 5 weeks in the top 5 every single week. And then look at what the numbers were watching Colorado toward the end of the year when we were struggling. Look at my numbers now today versus the beginning of the year. Look at Well Off's numbers today versus the beginning of the year. When you're winning, more eyes are on you. That's a pretty simple fact. When you're not winning, it's tougher to continue to keep that going. Now, there's still a lot of people tuned in, and there's still a lot of people watching Coach Prime, watching Well Off, watching our channel, watching the Buffs, but it's not like it was at the beginning, and Coach Prime needs to recapture some of that. No, I'm confident he will. I don't have any questions about it. But I like what Cowherd said here. He doesn't regret the fact that we all got hyped up. Listen, Coach Prime and the Buffs kind of carried this sport for the first month of the season. I'll take you guys back. I don't know if you remember. I know it's been 12, 13 weeks, but do you remember the beginning of the year? Alabama was struggling with UCF. Georgia was struggling to beat anybody handily, struggling with South Carolina, struggling with Auburn, struggling with Vanderbilt. You remember that? Florida State struggling with Boston College. The beginning of the year was not dominant from anyone. Clemson lost a couple of games early. Ohio State was struggling. Michigan didn't have Harbaugh. They were cheating their way into whatever they've got. But what was the talk of college football at that time? It was Coach Prime. He carried the first month of this season. And so who would be upset about getting excited about that? Certainly not me. Certainly not Colin Cowherd. And I appreciate his words on that. Finally, we're going to talk about a recent Twitter post made by Shedeur Sanders. Now, Shedeur recently posted, "Trust me, ain't tripping on nobody." I think it's pretty clear that with this message that Shedeur is reassuring fans that the exodus of players and recruits is not getting to the team. Sanders is a resilient player who showed great leadership throughout the season. I also think you guys can expect more holiday cheer in the very near future. Colorado and Coach Prime are not going to stay down for long. And at the end of the day, if recruits or players don't want to be part of what Coach Prime is building, we wish them luck and hope they have a successful career elsewhere. But we're not going to get down on what Coach Prime is doing because we know what this nucleus of this team already is. We know the talent that's already there in Boulder, and we know that Coach Prime needs to do some things to get it to the next level. We've talked about it at length with the offensive line, the defensive line, some more upgrades at different positions, but we're not selling just yet. We are much like Shedeur. We're not tripping on nobody that's choosing to leave. And at the end of the day, if that's your choice, if you want to leave and you want to go, whether you're a player, recruit, fan, coach, doesn't matter. We wish you luck. And we will speak highly of you just like Coach Prime was. We're not going to dog anybody, and Coach Prime wouldn't either. But we wash our hands and we move on. Those that want to be part of this and those that want to be part of the rebuild and part of what Coach Prime's doing and part of the most epic turnaround in college football history can do it. Coach Prime still increased the win total by 300%. I know that 4 wins wasn't what anyone wanted, but I remember telling you early in the year when Vegas was picking 3 that they would certainly go over that. And last year, a team that won 1 game and then goes to 4 the next year is on an upward trajectory. Now, I know the end of the year wasn't what we all wanted, but if we can get that upward trajectory again, get to 7, 8 wins, we're going to have some fun times in Boulder. Imagine what the year after that, 2025, looks like if we can get to that 7, 8 win mark this year. That needs to be what Coach Prime works on building, works on getting us toward, and works on ultimately establishing. Hey, I appreciate you guys. You've ridden with us all season. We're not slowing down anytime soon. We're going to be here multiple times a week to continue to bring you any kind of content we can on Coach Prime, the Buffs, and what Deion Sanders is doing out in Boulder. Hopefully you guys have had a good week. We appreciate you. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you for watching the Prime Time for college football.